Vietnamese Airlines to resume domestic operations from April 16. Hack Covy programming contest launched to combat COVID-19. Vietnamese coffee rises lowest in 10 years. Hello, it's Ying Zheng again. Great to have you here with us. And following is the details of FBNC News today. According to information from the Ministry of Health, as of 4 p.m. on April 13, Vietnam recorded 2 new cases of COVID-19. Both patients resided in Hạ Lôi Village, Mê Linh, Hanoi. Currently, the entire village with more than 11,000 people in more than 2,700 households have been isolated. 43 people who had close contact with patient number 262 have also been isolated. Patient 262 is a 26-year-old male, Vietnamese nationality, an employee of Samsung company in Bắc Ninh province. Thus, up to now, Vietnam recorded a total of 262 cases of COVID-19, of which 118 were being treated and 144 had recovered. A Colombian man has left a quarantine area in Hoi An city in the central province of Quảng Nam before completing the isolation period. Local authorities have been cooperating with neighboring provinces to track him down.
According to a provincial steering committee for COVID-19 prevention and control, Listen Smith Santa Maria Oyula, 22, left the quarantine site in Hoi An at 7 p.m. on April 11th. Before leaving the quarantine area, he had visited many places across the country, and his visa expired on February 22nd. The committee said he had not completed his quarantine period and had not been tested for the novel coronavirus SARS-CoV-2. The province has quarantined more than 6,000 people at health centers, hotels and homes, of whom more than 2,600 have completed their quarantine periods. Out of 2,600 samples taken, 2,591 have tested negative for SARS-CoV-2. Earlier, an American woman also fled from hospital in the central city of Da Nang on March 30th. She was then captured by the local police and later tested negative for SARS-CoV-2.
With the nationwide social distancing ending on April 15, Vietnamese Airlines have announced the resumption of domestic routes, although so far no one is sure whether the nationwide distancing will end or continue.
Following the Prime Minister's directive that the nationwide social distancing ends on the 15th of April, under the direction of the Ministry of Transport, domestic flights are being suspended until the end of the same day. Hanoi, Da Nang, Ho Chi Minh City routes are being kept to a minimum. Bamboo Airways is the first to announce that it plans to increase flights on the Hanoi-Ho Chi Minh City route to 7 round trips daily from the 16th of April. The airline has confirmed that it will also resume the operation of other domestic routes, so that by the 20th of April, all domestic routes will be restored to before the nationwide social distancing was issued. Similarly, on Vietjet Air's ticketing system, tickets are available on a number of domestic routes with one flight a day, starting from the 16th of April. Vietnam Airlines has planned since the 7th of April to resume some domestic routes from the 16th to the 24th of April. However, it will mainly operate routes between Ho Chi Minh City and Hải Phòng, Vinh, Nha Trang, Phú Quốc. From Hanoi, the carrier will exploit routes to Da Nang, Ho Chi Minh City. The Hanoi-Phú Quốc route will resume on the 19th of April. The airlines have also noted that the above schedule information may be subject to change, depending on the actual operational situation.
A hackathon named Hack Covy has been launched to look for innovative ideas in education, healthcare, information, and economics to tackle the COVID-19 epidemic.
The Covy programming contest is expected to attract over 500 young Vietnamese programmers, innovators and designers across about 100 projects. It is an initiative of the Hanoi Youth Union, the United Nations Development Program in Vietnam, and Angel Hack Vietnam. The organizers, together with the participation of many experts with established online channels, offering contestants opportunities to take part in discussions, team building and the use of advanced technology throughout the competition. Contestants will send their finished projects along with 2-minute video giving an overview of their ideas to the organizers from now until April 16th. Across 3 days between April 17th to April 19th, participants will present their projects online before a jury panel, which then will announce the 3 best projects on April 24th. The 3 winning projects will receive development support worth $2,000 each before being released to the market. In addition, the top 10 will be able to register on the fundraising platforms at jong.ventures.
In a recent document, the government office has just announced the Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc agreement to export 400,000 tons of rice in April at the proposal of Ministry of Industry and Trade.
The Prime Minister has assigned the Ministry of Industry and Trade to chair and coordinate with the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, the Ministry of Finance, and respective bodies to implement the approved rice export plan, ensuring that there is no impact on national food security and absolutely no shortage of rice in any circumstances, especially in the context of climate change and the COVID-19 pandemic. The Prime Minister has assigned respective bodies to report on the rice export situation in April 2020 and propose a rice export plan for May 2020 by the 25th of April. The Prime Minister has also requested respective bodies to develop a scenario to regulate the domestic and export rice markets in case the COVID-19 pandemic prolongs, even until the end of 2020, and report to the Prime Minister by the 25th of April.
According to the Department of Agriculture, Product Processing and Market Development, in the first 3 months of this year, Vietnam's coffee exports decreased by 3% in volume and 5.6% in value compared to the same period last year.
Domestic Robusta prices have dropped to unprecedented low levels, lowest in 10 years. In March, the domestic coffee market fluctuated and decreased following the world market trend. Compared to February, Robusta coffee prices in the Central Highlands provinces decreased by 600 to 800 Vietnam dongs per kilogram and decreased by 1,600 to 2,100 Vietnam dongs per kilogram compared to the end of 2019. Due to low prices, coffee growers have limited their sale, leading to a supply shortage for export. Industry experts forecast that import and export activities, having been delayed everywhere as the pandemic continues to spread, have caused several freight forwarding ports to shut, which would hinder coffee prices from recovering quickly. Germany, the United States and Italy remain the 3 largest markets for Vietnam's coffee. The average export price of coffee in the past 3 months reached $1,692 a ton, recording a fall of 2.8% over the same period last year.
Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc has just signed a decision to support funding to prevent and combat drought, water shortage, and saltwater intrusion in the Mekong Delta region.
The decision states that 530 billion VND from the Central Budget Reserve in 2020 are to support 8 localities in the Mekong River Delta, including Bến Tre, Long An, Tiền Giang, Cà Mau, Kiên Giang, Sóc Trăng, Trà Vinh, and Bạc Liêu provinces to take urgent measures to prevent and combat drought, water shortage, and saltwater intrusion. The localities shall use the above-mentioned subsidized fund, local budgets, and other lawful sources to urgently deploy measures to prevent and combat drought, water shortage, saltwater intrusion, and ensure compliance with regulations, proper purposes, as well as ensure efficiency, publicity, and transparency.
And that has wrapped up our program for today. Thank you for watching. Until next time, goodbye.